Check and see if we're live. All right, looks like we're live. Let's go ahead and post on Facebook. All right, and let the doc know that we are streaming in case he cares. All right, everything's sent out. Let's load the game. Okay, so I think we gotta continue west. In, which we don't need. Nice. That bow is going to be a nice addition. It's a good question. What the heck are we going to do now? Recovers HP less filling. So I guess it's a better heal? Well, that's all interesting. These guys are jerks. That's great. All right, then to the north we go. Guess the one fairy must be in this cave. Droust. That must be the female mercenary. If you must. It's a girl! Yeah. Good work.
Are you all right?
No problem. He was tough, but I could have handled him. Merkers, even saber-tooths are no match for my battle claw.
I'm Sandor, and this is Pottle. We're on our way to Windspur.
Ready to join party. Yo, yo. How you doing, Justin? Check the cave to the right. Well, that's horrifically busy. Sorry, buddy. Welcome to post-work then, I guess. Good. You make good use of your time, I guess. So you're running that on an N64 emulator? I assume. When I was in college, I was really wanting to play Turok 2, and I didn't have a copy of the PC version, so I went and got an emulator for the N64 version, and then I ended up I ended up mapping the C buttons to the right stick, and the obviously left stick was the regular analog stick. Try to get like dual joysticks going on. And it kind of worked. It wasn't perfect, but it wasn't super bad. Actually, since Turok was using C for movement, I might have used the left stick for C buttons to make it control a bit more like Halo. Ah, so you're using mouse. It's a pretty solid controller. I mean, I've got my opinions on what controllers I like. I like a wide variety of controllers. I really like... Good God. Like, for pure 2D stuff, I really like the Super Nintendo controller. That takes me back a ways. The Virtual Boy has a really comfortable controller. 3DO controllers were okay. But yeah, like 360 is a very versatile controller, and that's why there's a lot of similarities between that and just modern PC joypads. Yeah, I was doing a playthrough of GoldenEye. Man, how long ago was that now? That might have been 4 or 5 years ago. I got... How far did I get? I don't remember anymore. I probably got 6 missions in or so. And one thing I didn't realize was how small all the different levels were. Because I played it growing up, and I was like, oh man, big old FPS. It's amazing. And going back, I'm like, you can walk across these levels in like a minute and a half at most. And I got some more feeling from Banjo-Kazooie also. That's probably all just due to the memory limitations on the console. You can't have that large of levels. But it's interesting because then the way they get around that is you'd have like more twists and turns within an individual level, a lot higher density of interesting events, like switches and items and stuff. And it made it worth your while to look carefully at stuff. Like, that's why there's a bunch of stuff in Banjo-Kazooie that's hidden just out of sight to make you search for it, take advantage, or make as optimal use of the space available in the level as possible. Oh wow, yeah, the Pro Bad since you were 3. I'm trying to think, I don't know if I have any controllers from way back. I might have some OG Genesis controllers. I don't remember anymore. I mean, I have Genesis controllers, but whether they were ones I had with the original Genesis setup or not, I don't remember. Yeah, some of that went to my brother, some that stayed with me. And we've taken stuff apart, cleaned things, and done so many different whatcha habits to those controllers that I don't remember where I got them all. Like, Genesis controller I'm using now is the one that came with the laser active, so this is definitely not something I had way back. Good job, Pottle. Cool. Does a suede tunic do better? Yes, it does. I'm gonna put that on Paul because he has less life than most. Oh, I can imagine. Like, man, I'll tell you what, you want to play something with that's going to take advantage of the mouse well? Try Turok 2, because Turok 2 requires a lot of precision aiming. Like, GoldenEye is really forgiving with aiming, honestly. They had, as far as GoldenEye goes, they had a Half-Life mod, or yeah, I think it was a Half-Life 2 mod. That was a multiplayer mod that was a bunch of the maps from GoldenEye, and then also like stuff inspired by movies not covered in GoldenEye, like Casino Royale. And I played it a little bit. I think it's just called GoldenEye Source. It's pretty legit. I don't think it has any single-player stuff, though. So it's more like if you got buddies that all want to play multiplayer together. Oh, that's a bummer that GoldenEye Source is only alright. Attack advantage! I got an advantage when I attack. Now, if I had my choice of Turok 1's okay. There's a lot of love in the world for Turok 1. But, oh man, Turok 2 is the one I started with. Seeds of Evil, man. It had like that nice dark tone to it. Opening just kind of gave you this grandiose sort of scope. It's like, you gotta save the universe. Like, okay. Crazy space lady. I mostly did the multiplayer, just because I didn't have the attention span to do the single player. But going back, like, the single player is a lot of fun. Blasted. Oh yeah, the cerebral bore, I remember that. That was cool. Dude, there's so many cool weapons in that game. You had homing multi-rocket launching rocket launchers. You had electricity guns that stun dudes and cause them to like jitter around. Like, Turok 2 is all about the crazy guns you can get. Also, in the first release of Turok 2, the black cartridges, there was a bug, because apparently it was originally intended to have co-op, And then, for reasons that I don't remember, that was scrapped. But in multiplayer, if you activate the all cheats code to give you level select, you can select single player maps from multiplayer deathmatch, and you can walk around fighting bosses and all the bad guys and events on the maps. So you can cheat your way to playing something kind of like co-op in Turok 2. And you know, some of those bosses are really like big monsters that take a lot of firepower. So playing that multiplayer is pretty sweet. And I think there's also Game Shark codes to enable and fix up some of the stuff that was disabled with co-op for like teleporters. That I've never done, so I might be lying to you. Man, those herbal extracts give you so little health. Explore everything that's down here first. Not hitting a random encounter yet. I would have expected to be fighting monsters on my way up. Alright, well, start from the door on the right, work our way around. Parashi's Flute. I am hitting the RPGs hard, Kyle. I am playing this on an actual Sega CD. Yes, I am. I'm playing it on a Laser Active. It's a Laserdisc player that has little removable modules and each module provides different functionality. So there's a module for Sega Genesis. There's a module for use your words, for TurboGrafx. And there's a module for karaoke. And I have all three of those. But yeah, Kyle, I'm kind of in a mood for JRPGs. That's what's been motivating me. Like, yeah, JRPG sounds good. I have no idea what the static sling is. What's my favorite RPG? Oh, God. What would my favorite RPG be? The hell is the static sling? Fudge. I really like Final Fantasy Tactics. Is there any other one that comes to mind that could potentially be favorite? I like Tales of Phantasia, although I've also had trouble playing through it. Because I'll get stuck in places. I mean, you're not wrong, Kyle. Morrowind is really good. I really enjoyed Morrowind. I'm kind of to the point where I don't know if you can be like favorite RPG and then talk about an Elder Scrolls game, because I feel like a little bit it's more like, what's your favorite Elder Scrolls game? Like, it's a kind of its own beast. Yeah, that's a little bit lame to say. I don't know. I mean, as far as American RPGs go, Morrowind is up there. I also like The Witcher 1. Skies of Arcadia is really good. I have not played much Final Fantasy X. It hasn't been super... Actually, oh shit. I know one that's also top contender. Like, it's either... Honestly, it's probably either Final Fantasy Tactics or Grandia 2. Grandia 2 is really good. I haven't beaten Skies of Arcadia yet, so that might be on there. Man, Grandia 2 is so good. That was just a well-made RPG. I have not played Grandia 1 yet. I got bronze shield. Rachel has no shield, so she gets a bronze shield. Look, it's me! I'm an RPG! I have no idea what Gnome Sand does. Ah! My controller. This controller needs cleaned. I haven't done it yet. There's our Wind Fairy. Eternal Seismic Flatulence. I'm being pushed around by farts. What? What? Really? Hey, Nate. What the shit? Well, I found a bunch of items, so maybe I'm supposed to equip some of them? That was not an expected outcome of this particular game for me. Okay. He can't equip any of that. Pottle, you got anything for me? I missed some of that because I was trying to look at their text. And all of the party died. The end. Good God. So it doesn't look like I can equip any of this. Magical magic. She can heal whatever Newman does. What the hell's Newman? I'll look up what that spell is. Okay, restores HP. Alright. What the heck did we do? I mean, I'm not gonna go up there and get killed by farts again. That seems like an awfully bad idea. Like I said before, I didn't expect that. These mirrors. I think I already got some out of here, but I'll double check. Yeah. That's just a little window. A window. I'm wondering if maybe now that I have the mercenary lady, I go back to town, I talk with some townsfolk, and one of them gives me a hint of something. Also, I'll wander east here real quick and see if I get anything. She's not asleep still. I don't know how this works in this game. I think she's fine. Yeah, by the way, Nate, this game's a shit ton better than Cosmic Fantasy 2. Cosmic Fantasy 2 was frickin' garbage. Good lord. Everyone's hitting on Pavel. What'd Pavel ever do to you? I'm glad you had a good time, Kyle. I would not recommend anyone ever buy or play that game. It is not, like, I can't think there's any games where I just flat out say don't play it, but like, good God. right through there. Ah! Controller getting stuck. Stop it. I just read Nate's comment about Grandia 1 coming to Switch. I did not realize that that was the thing. That makes me happy. So if you're not hearing music right now, it's because I think I need to grease the optical drive on my laser active. Also, anyone in the room remember Lufia for the Super Nintendo? I got the first one, but I don't have Lufia 2. Guess we'll stay at the end. Man, do I like using Power Ring as Puddle? That was worth it to go into that big dock, I guess. What do I do to survive farts? Hey, hey, filtration mask. I wonder if that will work. Here we go. Oops, to go up the stairs. Now, Nate, as a connoisseur of RPGs, what would you say your favorite RPG is? Yes, I'm taxing your mind. You've probably played a million billion of them. So now we got a filtration mask. Hopefully we won't get farted to death. Oops. Am I dumb and just missed the stairway? Oh yeah, it's around here, that's right. I mean, buddy, you gotta think back to all those PS1 era RPGs, Super Nintendo stuff. I don't know if you did much in the Game Boy or NES era. Plus, whatever you had for Dreamcast. I don't remember at all what you had on Dreamcast. And PS2 was honestly about as solid as PS1 as far as JRPGs go. You got a lot to choose from. All right. I don't have a boat. Oh yeah. I have Dragon Quest 7 and 8. I still need to play those. I don't have the PS2 or PS1 out at the moment though. So saving on it. We successfully made it to the island and avoided the fart catastrophe. Hey Doc, welcome to the stream. Oh yeah, Final Fantasy V had a really solid job system, and I kind of liked, you know, the some of the Chocobo stuff you got to do in the game. I definitely did not. I only played it for a couple hours, so there's a lot I don't know about 5, but it was a pretty game and it had jobs. Oh, Doc, you missed out. My entire party died from farts. That happened. Had to buy special equipment to not die. Yes, flatulence. The original greenhouse gas. Methane. Butt toots. So I had to buy a special headgear called a filtration mask and equip that one of those to each of my party members. It was an interesting surprise because it got to the place where, you know, the thing I'd move us on to the next area, and I'm like, okay, now we're on our way, and it's like, you all die, back to load screen, and I'm like, shit happened. In here, laying on the status effects heavy. Them wascally wabbits. Battle axe. Oh, snack. Battle axe. Oops, wrong guy. What, really? You didn't have to get the harmonica? That's like half the joy of the game. It's one of your so-called friends being like, I'll give you this, but you gotta get my harmonica back. That was mutant business. So it's a little more willy-nilly with the items in Ys 1 on PSP, is that what it is? Because back in my day, you needed to get harmonicas to get books. Mutant my caster. Beat me up. Right. It kind of surprises me that they felt that Ys 1 required more streamlining, because to me, like, it was pretty streamlined. Like, it wasn't, you know, it was like absolutely automatic or anything, but I guess I feel like there's a whole lot of fat in it. Well, hopefully it's reasonable to presume for the moment that normal difficulty is kind of the expected experience. So you have like hard and V hard, and then beginner. Goddamn flowers, what you doing? They actually got a port to iOS. Read that on the Wikipedias. I don't know if it's Japan only or not. But apparently they added some extra content, like extra dungeons after you beat the game. Yep, Wikipedia said iPhone and iPad. They're literally slapping me around. I think that's doing 20 damage a turn. You can die. It's a little disappointing that they don't have that Vaport for Android, since I have an Android. No, a lot of people I know have Android. See ways of playing iOS games on Android. I have no idea. I don't even know how you get the binary onto there, firstly. So I gotta imagine it's all locked down. And heck, at that point, you might as well just play like a Sega CD emulator on the Ouya. So I don't know what a static sling does. Let's go hands. There's nothing up there. It's a bit of a tough dungeon. Also, I don't know about you guys, but man, they are so stingy with heals. Healing items I buy for cheap don't heal for much at all. It costs me to do a decent heal on my main character, like a third of my caster's total MP. I guess. Bet it's that thing. I'm gonna get fucking annihilated by it. I've only got one set of these left. We will try the fight. I don't have much hope. Kind of figured. Oh, you got balm. Great. That was awesome. Ooh. Oh crap. Kind of figured I was underpowered for this. Oh, boss music's good. Not gonna approach him anymore. Yeah. There's some equipment that I just plain couldn't afford, so I might take the ship back to the town and try to get some better equipment. I can also find some of that equipment in here, probably. I wish I knew what these items did. And I think like the good healing item, it's like 1,000 gold. You can't really just stock up on them. I don't think I've seen any items yet that let you get back MP. Yes, I don't know, but the right. One last FU before I get out of the fire area. God dang harpies. Ready for Paddle to gain the level. I did want to see what's down here first, see if there's any chests. Since we know where the boss is. Oh, thank goodness Earth Elemental doesn't mute. Oh, there's auto boats you. First thing, getting away armor. That's items. So I got weapon shop armor. So that's what? Quilted tunic. Suede tunic's far better. Okay. see who does not have a bronze shield. It's got a bronze shield. You have an iron wrist. Do not have an iron wrist. Wow, that's a lot of time. So battle clause plus 20, that's plus 28. I got battle axe, I think she has battle claw. Let's give her a battle axe. I think I swapped out the silver knife for the bow. Well, East Origins, that's just East Book 1 and 2, right? Is there anything else to it? Oh, okay. I didn't realize that. Okay. So I've got the best gear. You're worth talking to. Probably should have bought more healing items. So I got some items just to repair me little by little, and then a strange brew will be what I try to hold on to for the boss. What else do I have anyway? I have 4 strange brews. Almost went the wrong way. Maybe? Not sure. All I have to go on really is the attack power rating. Ooh, that sounds tasty. Quite enjoyable. Welcome back, Justin. Probably gonna get my shit kicked in by a boss. Oh, I managed to get around getting fired to death. Bought some masks and now we are alive. Hey there. God damn. Why are you knocking on Paolo so much? I should make some savory pies at some point. There it is. We need to gain some levels so we use some stuff. I used all my strange brews on that.
It's a trap! Hey, where's the door? It's this way! Follow me! Rachel, I can't keep up! This isn't fun anymore! I've never seen anything like this. I can't believe we're still alive to see it. This blows. Imagine.
That there are. Ooh, slow simmered bean and ham soup. That sounds pretty tasty. Ha 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 ha. Fuck you, Pottle. Why you... Every time there's a girl doesn't mean you have to talk about her boobs. God blessed. Did you know that girl has boobs? I'm sure it just goes on forever. Yep, forever a mystery. Definitely didn't loot all that shit out. No, sir. Music in this game is pretty awesome. I agree, sir. Let's see, I've moved far away from my my home country of Ohio. But I tell you what, if I was in Ohio, I'd eat Mama Bushman's bean soup. That'd be delicious. There's no shame eating your mom's cooking. Well, I'm not there anymore. Now I'm in Seattle, Washington. But yeah, I was in Ohio for I don't know how long. 20 some odd years? Probably 20, 21 years. So I was there through, you know, regular childhood and college. Afterwards, moved out to the West Coast. The Northwest area, so... What was that? So out by Toledo area. Where is it you hail from, sir? Okay, yeah. It's not too far from my old stomping grounds. Marion's not too far out. I never really did much around Marion. I knew someone who knew someone from Marion, and I drove through it a couple times, but like I don't know what one does in Marion. Yo. He sits on the throne. He just listed all of the Toledo things. Well, good to know people are still keeping it classy in Ohio. Result. I do enjoy me some Cedar Point. Great. In addition to video games, this stream explores the ever-present drug problem of Ohio. I guess I'm supposed to go all the way back to that place I was just at to take a ship out. Come to Dayton! Come for the food, stay for the drugs! Did you buy that to fight the Nazis? That's good. Like, I mean, I bombed around Dayton a little bit when I visited down there last. And it was nice enough, like, they had restaurants and whiskey bar and stuff. Now see, Doc, that's what we gotta see. We gotta see some 7th Saga and some Mystic Arc happening. The Dragons games. Talking about the Dragon Quest games? Oh, I see, the Dayton Dragons. Okay. We're still talking about Dayton. You mentioned 7th Saga and Mystic Arc, and that got me thinking video games. Just you're a collector of old guns? Records, old games, and we'll... Okay. Yeah, I dig the old game stuff. I have my share of old games. See some of it. I got rid of some of the stuff I had because I just had way too much and way too varied of consoles. What I've kept around now is the Dreamcast, all my Sega stuff, Super Nintendo, PSP, PS Vita, PlayStation, PlayStation 2, PS4, Switch, Saturn, Game Boy, and Game Boy Advance stuff, and Atari Jaguar and Odyssey 2, and I think that covers it. Well, that's cool. Oh yeah, I got Dragon Quest VII on PlayStation. I've been wanting to play through it. So I think, Doc, correct me because I think you're the one that's telling me about this. Dragon Quest VII, you can like customize a village or something, and then you save that in your memory card, and then you can share that with friends. Sniff, 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 arf, arf. I'm gonna make money to buy more gear right now. But I'll take rumors. Right. There's nothing wrong with Street Pass, but I mean, PlayStation's where it's at. What a whopper! That's pretty cool, Justin. I definitely have to be careful on what I decide to collect, because that is a slippery slope for me. Just be like, I'm gonna get like all this cool stuff, and then also, holy crap, 40 damage. But like, you know, then unless you're, you know, ready to commit to it, you know, you have to maintain it and have space for it. Like I found with the video game stuff that with all the consoles and everything I had some stuff that was just broken and I had to fix. I was spending a lot of effort and money on shelving and stuff to store it all. Yeah, that 40 damage per attack is old. You ain't having that. That's some shit. Yeah. I was lucky, and one of my older brothers had a reasonable Dreamcast collection. And I got that off of him. And in addition, I was just in a place where, you know, I had a big boy job and I could afford to buy more Dreamcast stuff, so now I have a crap ton of Dreamcast games. Like, Dreamcast stuff, it demands some price nowadays. Like, it's not as expensive as maybe like Neo Geo or something insane, but some of that Dreamcast stuff gets up there. That, and there's a lot of non-functioning consoles out there just because those lenses just tend to go. One sec. Ugh. So until my upscaler comes in, because my TV's upscaler does not play nice with the Sega CD, I have it running through a VCR into RF. And the VCR just is like, hey, you're not doing anything, so I'm going to go and turn off soon. I'm like, no! That's true, Doc. There's a multitude of online games. So there's nothing this way. I just went the complete wrong direction. Who the shit are these guys? Yeah. Like, the way... So I heard a really... I found agreeable piece of advice regarding collecting a few years ago at a convention I went to. There's a collector there doing a talk about just his experiences collecting and what he looks for. And I asked a question about, you know, when you're modifying consoles, because, like, I'll do some of that to, like, put S video out on it, or repairs and that sort of thing. I asked him, like, hey, you know, when you're dealing with antiques, people associate value with how original the product is, right? Like, a lot of times to restore is to remove value from the antique. And so how does that impact this, you know, when you're doing modifications like this to game consoles, some of which enhance its functionality, how does that end up impacting the value of the stuff you have? Can you recite the names of all the lands in this poor world? Sorry. But what his answer was, you know, what value you get out of collecting. It's really up to you. Like, it depends what you want. Like, that dude, he had done a bunch of game console stuff for a while, and then he was starting to do Pong machines, because he's like, I just like to have all the different... I like to have a complete set. And the Pong machines were something he's probably never going to actually be able to complete, because there's so many of them. Whereas the other stuff, he'd invest money, then he'd have it, and be like, okay, now I'm done, now it's not fun anymore. Whereas for me, I really enjoy playing the games, getting to see weird games, play with weird pieces of hardware, have an experience that I couldn't get anywhere else. That's what I like about it. So I'll tend to get, like, oddball titles, or obscure consoles that have failed, or stuff like that. So, because that's where I come from with it, for me personally, I don't tend to put a lot of monetary stake in what I get. I think I'll try not to spend a crap ton of money on it, because that's a good way to bankrupt yourself. But when I'm buying games, I'm collecting, I'm playing them, I'm thinking about, is it interesting to me to goof around with and try something weird and play and enjoy? And there's some nostalgia there too, because I have a bunch of games I grew up with. But while it is reasonable and it is sound to think about how much can I get out of this, will it be an investment or not, I purposefully do not think about it that way, because it kind of bums me out to do that. Like, I'm already an adult, man. And I want my hobby to be something I do strictly for fun. And if I'm worrying about money, then I can invest in stocks or in property or something. Like, my games are here for me to goof around with plastic buttons. And I'll play with them until the plastic wears out. But understand, like, I know collectors that they do think about it as an investment, and that's reasonable. That's just not how I tend to roll. Or a Roth IRA, and, you know, to each their own. I guess I'm back where I started. Go back the other way. I don't know whether to continue on someplace else or not, since I didn't immediately see a castle. I gotta figure out where the castle is. Today's journey from here. Well, okay, but where? Oi, mate! Hey! I can't afford any of this. Yeah, that's fair. You know what? There's people that do stuff like that. The kinds of guys in the hobby that kind of get under my skin a little bit are folks who will buy large quantities of like limited edition games or like small run homebrews and stuff strictly to resell it at an inflated price. Like, you can make commerce arguments around capitalism, market value, such and such. But on the other hand, it ends up in a situation where somebody who didn't make the product and actually adds no value makes more profit than the individual putting their sweat and tears into making the game and trying to provide it at a price that people want to. Like, people, it's an easy entry for people to buy it at. And to me, that's kind of disgusting, because like they're literally just reselling and making money, but they're doing it to take advantage of the fact that they can corner a market easily. There was I think it was Punk, Pat the NES Punk, that ran an interesting experiment where, to prove out how bad it can be, he found like a really inexpensive Game Boy game, Rampart for the Game Boy. Bought up every cheap copy that he ran into on eBay, and started making postings at gradually higher prices to drive up the price, and keep buying the lower ones out just to keep copies of the game off the market. So he had like 20 copies or something hanging around at one time. And because he started successfully selling them at the slightly higher price, that went into the selling history. And so when new sellers would come about and want to post their copy of Rampart, they'd look at that and go, oh, that's how much I can sell it for. And so then the price just crawled up. Even though he sat on dozens of copies of this stupid game, it wasn't it was only worth that much because people paid for it because they thought that's how much they had to pay for it. And the trouble was, it did that. Then they couldn't figure out how to get the price back down because they listed for lower. Then other people started buying it up so they could sell it at a higher price, and then you're kind of screwed, and the game is just stuck at this higher price. And like, to me, those are the sorts of things that will make the hobby harder to enjoy for people, because now everything is at a higher premium to purchase. You can't just go and enjoy a game. Like, now it's, now it's like a significant financial investment. Like, if you wanted to go play like Final Fantasy 3 and you really want to play a Super Nintendo, you're paying, well, let me see, I think it's over $100 for it. I'm trying to operate my phone and operate this at the same time. Let me see real quick. Sorry, I know nothing interesting is happening on the screen, but I'm curious about this. I get talking about money in video games, and this is what happens. Oh, actually, maybe it's less than I thought. $50. Oh, okay. It's not horrendous, actually. There are games that are more expensive, though. Yeah. Oh, I've bought... Man, what game would I say I bought purely for, like, nostalgia and aesthetics? Like, I probably did that for Sonic 3 and Sonic and Knuckles. Because that was the game I played a lot. Yeah, K20 version. Even like I still really like playing those games. Good heavens, the Dalek Plague has reached Lorith. I have been charged with locating the legendary armor. I'm getting a magician. Oh, I'm getting a magician in the party!
These are such unlikely characters. Who's this runt? So ragged looking, he probably can't even use magic. Ooh, she looks capable enough. Very sure of herself. I wonder if she's more than she seems. And the prince! Ooh, he's cute. And wow, is he a prince? Hello, handsome.
My introduction to this character. She's judgmental and horny. Great. I wonder if you can actually find the pen. So I'm just hitting A as I walk across the floor. I'd be kind of impressed if there's like an invisible item that's just the pin. You're like, ah! Found it! Waka 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 video game jokes! Great. I'll actually need to walk back to the previous town and get some items. So, Justin, what all do you have as far as video game consoles? Okay, Sanders gonna need healed. You a-hole. Don't have any reason to believe that poison sticks around. Good. Sync up's the direction I go. No, it's not. Oh, mess that up. Okay, that's solid. Oh, N60, I forgot to mention I have an N64, yeah. N64 is fun. N64 is also going up in price. Pretty much any Nintendo cartridge system stuff kind of climbs. PS2 is, I think, a good one, though, because PS2 doesn't have a lot of really expensive titles right now. My knowledge might be a little bit out of date. My understanding is still that, like, you can get those PS2 games for, like, $10 to $30 maybe. Had he just leveled? He just leveled them. Idiots, I killed him for nothing. But what that means is it's really reasonable to go out and be like, oh, I like this RPG, I like this action game. You can just pick it up. You don't have to spend, mortgage your house to do it. Yep, that's what I'm using. I'm using an Elgato Game Capture HD right now over composite video. You probably want to make sure if you do that, you're getting a powered switch box. So hopefully, it's a passive switch will... Well, if it's mechanical, it might be okay, but sometimes those switch boxes can introduce noise into the line for analog signals. That's one thing I ran into when I was doing switches. Kind of what I'm doing nowadays is partly because my TV is finicky about analog devices, and partly because a lot of modern capture devices expect HDMI. I just went ahead and got a Frame Meister, and I'm waiting on that to come in. And the idea is I'm going to run all my analog stuff through that. So one, I can see it on the TV easily, but then also I can capture it with the Elgato now if I wanted to. I've also got another one I use strictly for HDMI that does 60 frames. So I can use that. Alright. Wait, I was going to buy items. That's right. And also, if you get a PS2, you can get component cables, and so that should give you a nicer video signal for some of that stuff. Alright, so that should do me for items. Let's try sort. Seven strange brews and plenty of herb extract. Great. That's what I need. Oh, okay. Yeah. I've got one of the, I think it's a Hanzo VGA box for my Dreamcast. I bought some like cheap $10 VGA to HDMI, and I used that for a lot of what I did. It screwed up some of the colors, which was kind of lame, but I could adjust. Like I was using, what was it? OBS to do the stream for that, so I was able to do some color correction, aspect ratio correction there. But I would like to try something a little more elegant. I'm hoping, like, because that Hanzo's got a SCART output on it as well to do the 480p. So I want to try hooking it up through the FrameMeister and see if that just is a more consistent performance. I know my brother on the stream, he's gone with some cheaper alternatives for doing VGA capture and for doing some upscaling. He found some pretty neat products that you can get off like Newegg. He's used those for a bunch of Madden streams he's done and RPGs and stuff. They look pretty good. I mostly spent a bunch of money when I did just because I could, and I wanted to get something I knew was going to work really well and be really flexible. It's like one issue, like you might have seen this when looking at VGA stuff, but you start looking at VGA capture, you really have to pay attention to like what frame rates and what resolutions are supported. Because a lot of that stuff's like, yeah, it's VGA, but it's VGA at 480p and up. So if you had like a retro computer thing you wanted to do, you're kind of screwed, and it has a very specific number of frame rates. It's like, it'll only do 60 hertz, it'll only do 30 hertz. Hey, Hill. What's that? But yeah, they're pricey. Sorry about all the garlic. Who's this motherfucker? Oh, that's fair. Yeah. No, believe me, like when I was... Oh god, what'd I do? I did a little bit of capture stuff when I was in college. That would have been late 2000s. Like 2008, 9. And I saved up a bunch of money and got a PC card that could do component. And that was still like $200. And that worked okay. It had its own proprietary video compression, which was a pain in the ass to work with. But I could get it working, it was nice. But that's one of the boons of having a big boy job is if I want something silly like FrameMeister, I might be able to do it. Yeah. But as I was saying, like with the oh, I mean, yeah, it's good. Like, if you get what works for you, that's awesome. Karaoke singers. Yeah, I got some sort of I got like some cheap $15 VGA box once. It was kind of a clear acrylic box, and it had vertical lines all over it, the video, so it just looked like crap, and I was really unhappy with it. And so that's why I ended up going with one of the Hanzos, is because I'm like, fuck this. If this is what's gonna be like getting a cheap adapter, I'm gonna splurge and get a nice one. Yeah, that's fair. Can't take these critters near the cave. Something spooks them. I can't afford any of this stuff. MK, well, I gotta look up what that is because I'm dumb. I'm looking to see what it does. It's an HDMI cable. Why did it just so instead of giving me the stupid BS? Upscales. Looking to see how it takes input. So I mean, it's an HDMI cord and it does upscaling. I'm trying to figure out how it plugs in. This got like a USB thing. Okay. Is it just an HDMI cord that has built-in upscaling? Oh, anti-aliasing, okay. I mean, it's interesting. Like, I'm not... I have not reached the point yet where I feel like I want that. Weapons here. Like at this point, I'll just settle for getting a consistent analog signal on my TV. Like, here's one reason why I also went with an upscaler is I had to go out and find a refurbished television originally that had S-video on it. Base rate 6 would see down. Because, you know, most modern TVs, they might have composite, they might have antenna, but otherwise will just have HDMI. And I wanted something with S-video because, like, I have my Atari Jaguar and that does have S-video out on it. And it looks better than composite video. But nothing has S-video anymore. And so I ended up spending a premium to get this older TV that had, you know, now having used it for a few years, the built-in upscaler on it is kind of garbage. Where I could have saved myself some effort and maybe even some money if I'd got a cheaper modern TV and bought an upscaler to plug in through HDMI. So I figure if I invest in one now, I'll have it for next TV I buy. I don't have to worry about plugging my old game systems. Overall, TVs are dumb. They're a pain in the ass. I think it's time to go to the mountain in the south and see how badly we'll get mutilated. Something I'd say about that M cable also is the anti-aliasing on it. Maybe something more worthwhile to look into if you have a really large television, like probably honestly a TV that has 4K. Because if it's small enough, then you're not going to notice the jaggies. How do they get the PS2 going through HDMI? I guess, oh, I see. Jack X with FrameMeister. Okay, I see, yeah. So using the FrameMeister to get up to 1080p HDMI, probably using component cords because that's the best quality you're going to get. And then they just hooked up the other end with the M cable. Okay. What shit is that? Yeah. One thing I do wish we'd have a good solution for is being able to use old light guns on modern TVs. Because I have light gun games I like, and I had to go out and find a CRT television just to be able to play them. And even then, not all games work the greatest on that CRT. I had trouble with my copy of House of the Dead. But like, Virtual Cop worked fine. Caucasaur. I'm like 3 monsters in 1! Yeah! Mother effer. Turn my homies to stone? I will end you, sir. It's like a fucking cockatrice, that's what that's supposed to be. Does stone last? Oh, things look okay. Okay, so... I'm tempted to use my offensive magic, but I also want to save it to heal if I need it. Put my boy to sleep? Uh-uh. Switch us that front area. Ha, you can get Sander poisoned. You can get fucked. I'm actually gonna end up going back to town. So based on how hard those enemies are in there, and how I wasn't able to buy any real decent new equipment, I'm probably gonna end up having to grind in the mountain a little bit. Alright. Alright. I'm gonna have to call it for the night now because I gotta do a couple things, then I'm gonna have to go to bed so I can go to work in the morning. But thanks for watching. It's fun to get some more stuff done today and died of farts and crawled on a mountain. Got a little bit of grinding ahead of us, but that's something we can do later on. So take care, have a good night, and best wishes.